Chosen ones, this is not entertainment. This is a holy interruption. What is reaching you right now is not designed to pass through your ears and disappear. It is meant to stop you mid-scroll, mid-thought, mid-routine, because heaven is signaling that you are standing inside a moment that carries weight. If these words are landing in your spirit, you are not here by accident. You did not happen to find this. This is a divine warning, delivered with precision, because something rare is unfolding in your life, and it demands awareness, not fear. You need to understand what at risk truly means in this context, because many people misunderstand it. You are not at risk because you sin too much. You are not at risk because you are weak, broken, or behind. You are not at risk because God is angry with you. You are at risk because you are entering a window that does not repeat. A narrow passage where timing matters, posture matters, and awareness matters. This is the kind of moment that visits once, shifts direction, and then history keeps moving forward without reopening the same door. This is why it feels heavier than usual. This is why pressure has increased instead of decreased. This is why resistance feels sharper right when clarity started forming. Elevation always comes with exposure. When your spirit begins to rise, visibility increases in realms you cannot see. Pressure is not proof that you are failing. Pressure is evidence that ascent has already begun. If nothing significant were forming, there would be no urgency. If nothing valuable were approaching, there would be no resistance. What you are feeling is not the sign of collapse. It is the sign of transition. But here is where the warning becomes necessary. The greatest danger in moments like this is not the attack around you. It is the drift within you. The subtle return to old cycles because they feel familiar. The quiet impatience with divine timing. The temptation to numb yourself, distract yourself, or go back to what once made you feel safe, but no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Many chosen ones do not fall because darkness overwhelms them. They fall because they forget who they are right before they rise. This is the narrow space where identity is tested, where the question is not, can you survive pressure, but can you remain anchored while pressure increases? Fatigue whispers that you deserve rest in the wrong places. Distraction offers comfort without calling. Doubt suggests that waiting is wasting time. And slowly, if you are not alert, the enemy does not have to destroy you. He only has to convince you to step backward, to rebuild comfort in a season meant for movement. Hear this clearly. The old patterns that once sustained you will not sustain you here. The coping mechanisms that worked in previous seasons will fail in this one. Not to punish you, but to force growth. God is not exposing you to harm. He is exposing what no longer belongs in your future. That is why this moment feels intense. That is why it feels like something is pressing from every side. You are being funneled, not crushed. Narrowed, not trapped. And this narrowing has purpose. Wide spaces allow wandering. Narrow passages demand focus. In this moment, heaven is refining your attention, your patience, and your obedience. This is not the time to rush. It is not the time to retreat. It is the time to remember who you are and why you were set apart. You did not come this far to return to what God already pulled you out of. You did not endure preparation to abandon identity at the doorway of promotion. This is why the warning is urgent but not panicked, loving but firm. God interrupts before damage replaces discipline. He speaks now because what is at stake is not small. It is direction. It is trajectory. It is legacy. This is the passage where chosen ones either rise with awareness or retreat into familiarity. And the difference is not strength. It is remembrance. This is the narrow passage where chosen ones either rise or retreat. And in the next moment, you need to understand why this window presses heavier than ordinary seasons, and why heaven is calling you to attention right now, before the moment moves forward without waiting. The reason this moment puts you at risk has very little to do with external attack, and almost everything to do with internal drift. This is something many people never understand until it is too late. The enemy rarely destroys chosen ones head-on. Direct destruction is noisy, obvious, and often resisted. Instead, the strategy is far more subtle. It is seduction, not explosion. It is backward drift, not sudden collapse. It is not meant to shock you into fear, but to lull you into forgetfulness. Seduction does not arrive looking dangerous. It arrives looking reasonable. It comes disguised as rest when you are tired, as distraction when you are overwhelmed, as isolation when you feel misunderstood, and as just this once compromises when pressure is high. Fatigue whispers that you've earned the right to disengage. Distraction convinces you that staying busy is the same as staying faithful. Isolation tells you that no one would understand anyway. Small compromises assure you that nothing bad will happen if you loosen your grip just a little. None of these feel like rebellion. That is why they are effective. Chosen ones are especially targeted in moments like this because of where you stand on the timeline. You have outgrown the old place, but you have not fully stepped into the new one yet. The old environment no longer feeds you. The old conversations feel shallow. The old rhythms feel restrictive. But the new assignment is still forming. The clarity is emerging, but not complete. The direction is sensed, but not fully revealed. This in-between space is where many lose momentum, not because they were unworthy, but because they became unguarded. This is the most dangerous posture of all. Not open rebellion, but quiet disengagement. Not intentional turning away, but gradual drifting backward toward what feels familiar. When you are tired of waiting, familiar feels safe. When the future feels undefined, the past feels predictable. The enemy does not need to convince you to abandon God. He only needs to convince you to pause your pursuit, to soften your vigilance, to stop anchoring yourself daily in truth. One of the clearest warning signs in this season is a state where you are busy but not productive. Your schedule is full, but your spirit feels empty. Your days are occupied, but your inner life feels scattered. You are connected to everything: conversations, content, responsibilities, noise, but strangely disconnected from God. Prayer becomes rushed. Stillness feels uncomfortable. Silence feels awkward. And without realizing it, the place that once grounded you becomes the place you keep postponing. This is not a moment to go into spiritual sleep mode. This is not a season for coasting, numbing, or autopilot. This is a moment that requires awareness and anchoring. Awake does not mean anxious. Anchored does not mean rigid. Awake means present. Anchored means rooted. It means you notice what is pulling at your attention and you choose deliberately to return to center. It means you recognize that this pressure is not asking you to escape, but to stabilize. The danger is not that the pressure will break you. The danger is that you will forget why you are standing here in the first place. That you will mistake fatigue for permission to drift. That you will interpret silence as absence. That you will allow small compromises to slowly blur your clarity. Many chosen ones do not lose their moment because of one catastrophic decision. They lose it because of a series of unguarded ones. This is why awareness is protection. When you name the strategy, it loses power. When you recognize seduction for what it is, you stop blaming yourself and start strengthening your posture. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are not faithless for feeling pressure. You are human standing inside a rare moment. But you must decide how you will stand. So mark this moment intentionally. Not with fear, but with agreement. If something in you recognizes this warning as truth, engage with it. Let your action reflect awareness. Like this message as a simple declaration that says, I heard the warning. I'm awake. Not for performance, not for algorithm, but as a personal marker of alignment. Because this moment is not asking you to retreat or to rush. It is asking you to stay present and anchored while something larger than you is unfolding. And to understand why this pressure feels different, you need to see what is happening beyond your personal life, in the spiritual atmosphere itself, and how it is affecting those who are awake first. What you are sensing right now is not your imagination, and it is not weakness. The reason this season feels different is because the atmosphere itself has shifted, and when the atmosphere changes, the inner life of spiritually aware people is touched first. Chosen ones tend to feel internal movement before external evidence appears. This is not mysticism. It is sensitivity. When alignment increases around you, awareness increases within you. That is why many of you have noticed emotional waves rising without a clear cause. One moment you feel steady, the next you feel unexpectedly reflective, heavy, or tender. Fatigue has shown up even when you have rested. Your body feels tired, but it is not ordinary exhaustion. Your mind feels foggy at times, not confused, but quieter and slower than usual. At the same time, your awareness feels heightened. You notice things you used to ignore. Words land deeper. Silence feels louder. Truth feels sharper. This combination can feel disorienting if you don't understand what it is. Here is the correction you need to hear clearly. This is not chaos. This is not punishment. And it is not a breakdown. What you are experiencing is refining and exposure happening simultaneously. Refining removes what no longer belongs. Exposure reveals what is already there. When both happen together, the process feels intense, but it is purposeful. Many people misinterpret this season because they expect growth to feel energizing and clear from the beginning. In reality, spiritual strengthening often feels quiet before it feels powerful. It feels like things are slowing down internally while something deeper is being built. This is where the truth matters. Silence does not mean absence. Silence means construction. God often builds the most important structures without noise. Think about how foundations are laid. There is digging. There is clearing. There is disruption beneath the surface before anything visible appears above it. No one applauds that stage, but without it, nothing stable can rise. What you are experiencing is not stagnation. It is preparation happening beneath awareness. That is why you feel less outward drive, but more inward sensitivity. The volume has been lowered so precision can increase. This is also why distraction feels heavier than usual. Noise that once felt manageable now feels draining. Conversations that once felt normal now feel empty. Content that once entertained now leaves you restless. That is not because something is wrong with you. It is because your inner alignment is changing, and misaligned inputs now register as interference. Sensitivity is increasing, not fragility. The danger in this season is mislabeling the process. If you call refining collapse, you will fight it. If you call exposure failure, you will retreat from it. But when you recognize what is happening accurately, you can respond wisely instead of reactively. This shift is not here to break you. It is here to clarify you. The correct response is not panic. It is grounding. Grounding brings the nervous system back into alignment with the truth that you are safe, guided, and held. This can look very simple. Slow your pace. Return to the basics that steady you. Time and stillness is not wasted here. It is essential. Prayer does not need to be loud or long. It needs to be honest and present. Silence is not something to escape. It is something to enter with intention. Time away from noise is critical in this phase. That does not mean isolation from people. It means discernment about inputs. Reduce unnecessary consumption. Step back from constant stimulation. Let your inner world breathe. Stillness allows your system to recalibrate instead of overload. This is not withdrawal. It is regulation. When you respond this way, something important happens. The same shift that could have overwhelmed you begins to strengthen you instead. Emotional waves settle into discernment. Fatigue turns into clarity about what drains versus what restores. Mental fog clears as pressure releases. Heightened awareness becomes precision instead of anxiety. This is how you know the process is working. You become clearer, not louder. Stronger, not harder. More anchored, not more frantic. You stop trying to outrun the moment and start standing within it. And when you stand correctly, the pressure no longer pushes you backward. It positions you forward. You are not losing yourself in this season. You are shedding what cannot go with you. The shift is not asking you to do more. It is asking you to understand more. To respond with wisdom instead of urgency. To treat sensitivity as information, not instability. And now that you understand what is happening and why it feels the way it does, the next step becomes crucial. Awareness alone is not enough. There are specific ways to protect yourself and walk through this rare window without losing balance, clarity, or identity. That is what you need next. Walking through a one-time window safely does not require fear, rituals, or extreme behavior. It requires awareness, intention, and alignment. Panic clouds judgment, but awareness sharpens it. Reaction scatters energy, but intention gathers it. The protection you need in this season does not come from doing more. It comes from responding correctly to what is already happening. The first principle to hold firmly is this: awareness is always greater than panic. Panic pulls you into urgency that God never asked for. Awareness keeps you present, grounded, and responsive instead of reactive. When you feel intensity rise, the goal is not to escape it or fight it, but to stabilize yourself within it. Stabilization is how you pass through narrow windows without losing balance. The second principle is intention over reaction. Reaction is driven by emotion and pressure. Intention is driven by discernment and choice. You are not meant to live at the mercy of every internal wave or external signal. You are meant to choose your posture deliberately. That posture is what carries you through. There are two symbolic rhythms in the day that help explain how to do this, not as rules, but as patterns. The middle of the day often carries the highest noise. Responsibilities peak. Mental stimulation increases. Input is constant. In seasons like this, that intensity can amplify internal sensitivity. This is why retreat and grounding matter during high-noise periods. Retreat does not mean withdrawal from life. It means creating moments of containment, slowing your breath, stepping away from unnecessary stimulation, returning to your body and your center. Grounding keeps you regulated when external pressure is high. The night carries a different quality. Noise drops, distraction fades, stillness becomes accessible. This is often when clarity emerges, not because something mystical is happening, but because interference has reduced. Stillness allows your thoughts to settle and your discernment to sharpen. Prayer at night is not about force. It is about honesty. This is where reflection, listening, and quiet alignment can happen naturally. It is important to say this clearly. Do not ritualize the clock. Do not turn time into superstition. There is no power in specific hours themselves. The power is in posture of heart. God does not require performance to protect you. He responds to alignment, not mechanics. If you miss a moment, nothing is lost. If you are present in heart, nothing is lacking. Healthy practices support this posture. Silence is not emptiness. It is space for clarity. Journaling is not overthinking. It is externalizing what your system is processing, so it no longer circulates endlessly inside you. Scripture is not information. It is orientation. It reminds your mind what is true when pressure tries to distort perspective. Rest is not indulgence. It is maintenance. Discernment is not suspicion. It is wisdom applied gently and consistently. These practices are not about control. In fact, they do the opposite. They release your need to control. Protection does not come from managing every variable. It comes from alignment with what is already being orchestrated beyond you. When you try to control the window, you strain against it. When you align with it, it carries you. This is the paradox many miss. Control feels safe, but it actually increases tension. Alignment feels slower, but it actually accelerates stability. The moment you stop forcing outcomes, your system settles. When your system settles, clarity returns. When clarity returns, you make better decisions without effort. Walking through this window safely means trusting that you do not have to engineer your own protection. You are not being tested on speed. You are being tested on posture. Can you remain aware without panicking? Can you be intentional without becoming rigid? Can you stay grounded without withdrawing? These are the questions that shape the outcome of this moment. Because this window is not only about getting through safely. It is about what you carry out on the other side. How you walk now determines what you are able to hold next. This moment is shaping your future capacity, not just your current stability. And to understand why it carries that kind of weight, you need to see how what you do here determines what becomes possible after this window closes. This is not a threat. It has never been a threat. This is mercy before history moves on. This is the kindness of God stepping in before a moment passes unnoticed. Windows like this do not come often, and they are not meant to scare you. They are meant to awaken you. God is not warning you because He wants to pull something away. He is warning you because He intends to protect what He is bringing toward you. Pressure does not mean you are failing. Pressure is proof of ascent. The higher you rise, the more weight you feel, not because you are weak, but because capacity is being formed. If this season feels heavier than others, it is not because something is wrong. It is because something significant is happening. Pressure is not the enemy here. Unawareness is. Awareness is your protection. When you are awake, distraction loses its power. When you are aware, old patterns no longer sneak back in unnoticed. When you are present, fatigue does not get to decide your direction. Awareness keeps you anchored in who you are while everything around you shifts. You do not need to fight this moment. You need to stay conscious inside it. Alignment is your safety. Alignment does not mean perfection. It means honesty. It means choosing presence over escape, intention over impulse, grounding over panic. When you stay aligned, even uncertainty cannot pull you off course. Alignment keeps you steady while the window opens, moves, and closes. You don't have to rush. You just have to remain where you are meant to be. Do not let this moment slip by because of distraction. Not dramatic failure, not collapse, but small drift. Endless noise, constant input, numbing habits. These are the quiet thieves of rare moments. This is not the time to go on autopilot. This is not the time to disappear into busyness. This is the time to stay awake, even gently, even imperfectly. If this message has reached you and something in you recognizes it, let that awareness become agreement. A simple act can mark that decision. Liking this message is not a performance. It is a signal that says, I heard the warning. Subscribing is not obligation. It is choosing to stay connected and awake in this season. Commenting your city and nation is not exposure. It is recognition that you are part of something larger, a global remnant choosing awareness over distraction. And if you give to support this work, know this, it is partnership, never pressure. Alignment is always voluntary. Remember this and carry it with you. This moment was not sent to destroy you. It was sent to define you. And it will if you stay awake.